This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a breezy, slightly soggy morning here in Djuma Private Game Reserve in South Africa. We have a rather cross brown snake eagle sitting, trying to dry off. My name is Kelly. I'm going to be with you for the next 3 hours. And with us this morning, we have the exceptional, the outstanding Craig on camera this morning. We are so glad you could all join us. I'm very excited about hearing from everyone this morning. It's great to know you are all out there and right behind us. If you do have any questions or comments, please send them through to #WildEarth on Twitter. If you are under the age of 18, please send us an email to kidquestions@wildearth.tv, or you can register on the Wild Earth website. Head over to the channel page and you can submit your questions there. We look forward to hearing from everyone this morning or this afternoon or this evening, wherever you may be in the world. Yesterday I started a theme of what are you doing in nature this weekend, and I would love to carry that on this morning. I'm really looking forward to hearing from all of you out there. What did you do yesterday? How did it go? What did you see? And if you are out on this Sunday, please tell us what you plan to do. This is a soggy brown snake eagle, looking very bedraggled and dejected up here. Still on their very characteristic high up perch. Not as much leg exposed as usual. I'm sure it's trying to snuggle down and stay warm. Craig said it's not going to rain during drive this morning, so I'm fairly confident we're going to manage to stay out for the full 3 hours, because if Craig said so, it must be true. I keep getting drawn up to this northeast corner of the property to try and find lions, but I'm not going to say I'm looking for lions this morning. So we're just going to the northeast corner, starting on Voyatella access. If there are predators moving, I would expect them to be walking on the roads this morning. No one likes to be soggy. This goes for our predators as well, so why wouldn't they walk on these nice soft dry roads instead of sneaking through the grass? We did hear distant sounds of lions during the night on dam cam. I think there's a little lion house somewhere up there. Anna Marie, you and me both. Some nice big kitties would be fabulous, but we're not looking for them, because if we look for them, we won't find them. But yeah, I feel like I've heard lions pretty much since I've been here every other night from quite a long way away. It sounds like they're somewhere on Buffels Hook, and I get the feeling there's a nice little lion house there with snacks and drinks and duvets and things, and they're all just hanging out there, and every now and again they have a chit chat and we just hear them in the distance. But I'm going to focus or start this morning. I'm going to check Voyatella access for tracks. I'm going to go round the gate back to where we had those tracks yesterday, and I'm going to check along that cut line for a while to see if anyone has come back in, and then we will take it from there, I guess. But I'm very much looking forward to hearing from all of you this morning. It's good to have you with us as always. Another interesting turn of events. I know Cedric was at the hyena den yesterday. Garth, do all snake eagles show so much leg? Absolutely, Garth. The snake eagles, so Battaliers actually sit with the snake eagles as well, and it is one of their defining features, is they show a whole lot of leg. And they've got quite heavy scales on their legs. Scales, birds have scales? Lizards have scales? Let's call them scales. I'm not sure that's quite right. And it's to protect them from their main quarry, which are snakes. So nice heavy scales on their legs. So yes, they do. Unless they're sitting down, then they're much more demure. But yeah, the turn of events yesterday, I know Cedric, yay, found where the hyenas were yesterday, which is great. I'm sure I'll pop over in that direction later. But now there is no fuel gauge on Rusty. So maybe one of those little cheeky monkeys had a little chew. So yeah, that's exciting too this morning. So we will see. But so pleased that Cedric did find our little Djuma clan yesterday, along with all of their little ones. Our rain gauge said we had 1 mil of rain yesterday, which I'm not entirely sure I believe. I'm just going to send you over to the weather and see what the Djuma weatherman says for this morning. Thank you, Djuma weatherman. 21 degrees and cloudy. That sounds about right. I have noticed that after rain, predators do quite often walk on the roads. Obviously, when we have lots of rain, and it's the same for all reserves, not just here, we're not allowed to off-road. I'm going to have a look and see what the ground looks like this morning to make that decision as it comes. But often predators will use roads because it's just nicer. There's no real science behind it unless they're hunting. I know on the odd occasion we need to walk in the grass after rain. Within 5 seconds you're absolutely drenched, so why would any of our predators enjoy that? No science, it's just more comfortable walking on the roads. Amazon, I know, right? I was actually thinking that yesterday. We did have leopard tracks around Sandy Patch. I don't think hello birdies. There's 2 little emerald spotted wood doves here on the road. I don't want to push them. I saw leopard tracks around on the cut line close to Sandy Patch yesterday. I haven't seen Tulumba around Sandy Patch before. It doesn't mean she's not there. But it's been a while now. But I would guess, so it's all guesswork, those little cubbies, although they're not that small anymore, really. And predators do use this weather for hunting. Maybe, I still feel like there's maybe a kill somewhere that we haven't found or we haven't seen, and they're happily snuggled in a nice big marula, slowly snacking somewhere. But yes, I'd agree, Amazon. It's been a few days now since we saw our girly girl and her little ones. So I'm definitely, it's not bad weather for tracking, actually. The ground is quite soft, and I'm fairly sure I would see leopard tracks on this. And it helps with aging tracks as well. We sort of know when it stopped raining. I think any tracks from sort of late yesterday afternoon might be a bit tricky, but anything, I've seen some very clear hyena tracks this morning. You can see these little emerald spotted wood doves doing their little S-shaped tracks. Very characteristic of the doves. They walk in these wiggly S shapes up the road, looking for morning breakfast, looking for seeds. Okay, sorry, Dovey Doves, we need to carry on. They also said they saw porcupines last night on Dam Camp. That's so cool. I still think one of my favourite sightings during my time here has been that porcupine in a hole. Nail-biting stuff. I haven't even seen an impala yet. Let's see if there's any impalas around here. I'm going to carry on up towards the gate area and have a little scout around for tracks. Lovely hyena tracks along the access road. But no one else as yet. I know we have had some luck with that tortoise pan male leopard around this area. I actually found him right here one morning, and the first thing I said was, "Oh, it's a lion." That's how big he was. And then, yeah, I was deeply impressed. I thought it was a lion. I didn't even identify the species. And someone told us it was the tortoise pan male from some ears in the grass. I'm going to be forever suitably impressed with everyone's character identification skills here. Absolutely insane. Ooh, it's okay, Rusty. It was so nice to have that big herd of buffalo on the other day. We don't often see, well, that's the biggest herd of buffalo I've seen for a very, very long time. We've had the odd one or two that we see on Djuma, but it just goes to show that these animals are starting to change habits, change areas, move around a little bit more with the change of the seasons. I think I'm going to pop onto Triple M quickly and maybe head down Triple M just a short way to see if we don't have any tracks, or maybe if I bump into any other vehicles, they might be able to give me a bit of a heads up on where any of our big bigger felines may be hanging around at the moment. But yeah, I definitely feel almost every second or third day we hear lions, but they always sound to me like they're in Buffelshoek, and they just call just around when we're getting ready, as if to say, hi, we're over here, and then they go quiet again. I would kind of expect any lions or leopards to maybe be Stacey, how lovely getting a nature fix with your dogs. I'm actually very excited. I'm picking up the dogs in a couple of days, and yeah, dogs are life, and they bring back a big piece of nature with them. I'm not sure what, but if nothing else, then definitely muddy paw prints. Yeah, I'm a huge dog fan, so any of you out there with dogalogs, you are my people. So yeah, I would be expecting lions, leopards, even hyena to be lying, leopards maybe up in trees, or certainly on more. Craig, you are a legend. You are a total legend, Craig. Craig, you never need to get off this vehicle ever again. Okay, I'm not sure who this is. Leopard experts, we need you. Very, very light eyes. I can't actually see where this leopard's gone. Whoever it is definitely scent marking. I just want to check and see this leopard's happy with us here.
Can we go back?
Can we go back?
Yeah.
Okay, it would seem we've got Shadulu here. I'm just going to try and do my best here to not give Craig problems with this roof. Definitely scent marking. Okay, I just want to get a shot and then I'm going to try and get in there, Craig. It is difficult showing poor Craig with this roof on. Walking quickly though, I'm going to try and get around the front. This place blows my mind. Let's try here. Ooh, that was a rather big log. Okay, now we need to... Craig, you legend. Craig, you legend. I agree. Okay, she's still walking this way. Yes, there's a big log there. I can't get through there. Okay, I must remember I've got a roof on as well. There's a big log. She's just changed direction. She's on a mission. She's not strolling, this leopard. Ooh, that was another big log. Jamie Bear, yes, I have met Shadula before. I've bumped into her a couple of times, actually, around Zoe's, Rebecca's, and this is a big girl. Oh, that neck, she's almost got a dewlap. Not that you should call girls fat. She's definitely on a mission. So this ground, fortunately, isn't too wet, so we're fine to carry on following her here. I don't want to put too much pressure on her. She's not nervous, but she is looking at the vehicle. I can still see her. I think she might come out onto Sandy Patch. Oh, that's a big log. She's scent marking with a vengeance. Oh, sorry, Rusty. Yeah, see, she's just trotted a little bit. I'm going to give her space. But with any luck, she might come out into the open a little bit more. Hey, look, there's a little pan here. Let's get around here. There's a big log in it. Sorry, Craig. Sorry. Okay, roof is on. Yes, this is really difficult. I can't see anything in this grass. Do you think she's coming? I'm going to block her pathway here. I think she wants to walk on this game path. She's scent marking, hey? You got her, Craig? I can't see her. She's sniffing something there. What a gorgeous girl. This is probably one of the bigger female leopards I've seen. I'm going to try keep up with her. Is she going to go and sit up here? That would be very cool. Sorry, Greg. I'm hopeless at this. Okay. She is very busy scent marking, and lots of animals will be doing this after this rain. She is really making a point that this is her space. And animals do often walk quite quickly if they're scent marking. They're on a mission, they've got things to do. She's definitely keen. She had a look at an impala back there. Also, she's stopping looking. I do think if the opportunity comes, she is going to possibly hunt.
Good morning and welcome to Eco Training Pridelands. It's a cold and windy morning out here and things are a little bit on the slow side, but we quickly popped in at one of the dams to come and follow up on some tracks. And what we are looking for is the tracks of a leopard and her cubs. Yesterday morning we noticed that she actually brought the cubs into the drainage line or to the dam to come and drink, but never left with the cubs, and it's only her tracks that was leading out. So it's worthwhile always following up on these things. So my name is JP LaRue, and behind the camera we've got BK. One of the things that we're also looking for this morning is elephants, and there's loads of signs of them everywhere. Fresh dung, broken branches, trunk marks has been dragged over the ground, and a host of other field signs that they leave, but we can't find a single one. Thought we might actually get them here at the dam, but roughly some 2:30 this morning, BK and I had some visitors next to our tent. There was two very big elephant bulls, and they were brushing against both of our tents, busy trying to get to grasses as well as trees surrounding the tent. And every now and then you could hear the canvas and the tents moving, and eventually they managed to move off and go and feed somewhere else. Probably took them some roughly half an hour before that they actually went off. The thing that I actually find pretty amazing is that we actually didn't hear them even coming in. The first signs that we did hear from our elephant that gave them away is a big amount of gas that they released. And that surely woke us up. And then from there we heard them breaking branches. We're going to continue quickly working this area, see if there's any of those tracks that are leading out again, and from there on we'll be seeing what else we can go and find. But while we are checking on our tracks, let's go and see what Kelly is up to.
Jadula's just come off of sandy patch at the junction. Oh, I can see her. Ooh, and we are going to try and keep up with that. But I'm also aware that it does seem like she's hunting. So I don't want to interrupt that. This is also getting a little bit thick in here. And I must remember that I've got a rain roof on. Come on, Rusty, it's okay. Oops, it's quite a big tree. So she's following this game path along here. There's a couple of lovely big trees, and I'm hoping she's going to live up to her name and settle nicely on a termite mound, maybe. But it does look like she's on a mission. I don't think this leopardess is going to be slowing up anytime soon. Let's see if we can catch her. She's been scent marking on all these big trees here. Dr. Rocky Balboa, that is a very good question. Maybe they are more practiced than you at look at this, at measuring her scent mark levels. Come on, go up there, girl. Practice, Dr. Rocky Balboa, I would say. Practice and control. Oh, is she going to go up? I think she should go up and have a nice little rest. It is getting quite thick in here now. This is possibly one of the biggest leopardesses I've seen. I just said to Craig, when I first saw her from the side, I actually thought it was a male. She's almost got a dewlap. I'm also aware that if I do break this car, we are carless. Yep. Turn to the left. Every single big stump she's got here, she's using those glands on her forehead. She's urinating. Is she turned? I'm going to try stay with her maybe for another few minutes. I don't think she's going to settle. Bush babe, she will... Big trees. Sorry, Craig. She will absolutely scent mark more because of the rain. Because any scent marking she did have before are going to have been washed away. She's kind of sticking to these game trails a little bit. This is a big leopardess. Every second or third bush she is scent marking. Dr. Rocky Balboa, she's doing a great job. Has she got a injury on her neck, or is it just wet? I think it's just wet. Hello, girlie. No, she's just a bit grubby behind her right ear there. So I'm always torn in these situations. Do we just follow behind and try and keep sight? Or do we try and get around the front and risk being given the slip, as we know happens on a regular basis? I think I'm going to stay behind her for now. So we're now just about to hit Aubrey's Road. Let's see if she's going to turn and walk along the road. Yes, okay, she's on Aubrey's. So cats have glands on their foreheads there. So when your domestic cat bops you with their heads, they're actually scent marking you. She's having a think, smelling the wind, making sure she's got everything covered on that bush. Little tinkle, and off she goes. There's a lovely big termite mound just around the corner here, but she's not in settle mode. She's in busy mode. She's got lots of ground to cover. You will find all animals, all territorial animals in this weather will spend a lot of their time and a lot of their energy scent marking. Go on, go and sit up there. I don't want to sit too close to her. I think the more likely she is to come off the road. Love Earth, she could be. She absolutely could be. I don't like to speculate too much on exactly what these animals are doing here. It's very much up to opinions. I'm not sure if Djuma has been seen scent marking in this area before. I know when I've seen her, she's been much more south than here. So maybe viewers can tell me if Djula's actually been seen scent marking in this area before. That would be really useful, but you could be right. I think I'm going to stay. I am going to stay with Djuma while she stays on the road. But I think if she comes off the road again, I'm going to leave her. She's very obviously hunting as well. And I think when we actually spotted her, she was in a stalk. And I think we might have affected that, which always makes me feel awful. So if she stays on the road, I'm going to stay with her. But if she comes off the road, I'm going to leave her to go about her day. She is definitely making a point here. See how she delicately stepped over that little stick in the road. See, she's looking all the time to see if there's any prey species there. just going to keep going while she walks around this corner. I'm on Aubrey's Road at the moment. I found her just close to Voyatella Access. She crossed and she came just past the junction of Sandy Patch, and I'm now on Aubrey's Road. And she's going to come back out on Voyatella Access just now. We're very close to that access road. She's marking almost every single bush here. I'm not sure if anyone has seen this leopardess marking in this area before. And she is making her way slowly back. When I've tried to find this leopardess, I've normally gone around, and I haven't been here long, but I get the feeling more Zoe's, Rebecca's Road, that sort of area. But it's all very close together. Let's see if she's going to carry on across the access road and down towards Zoe's and Rebecca's Road. I'm just going to see which way she turns. I'm sure we're going to get another scent mark just here. So I'm not sure if she has scent marked here before, but she is definitely doing it now. And she's now going back down towards the camp, towards quarantine. And she hasn't taken this game path in front, so let's hope she stays on this access road here. Hello, girl. Morning ablutions with Jidulu. I don't think she could make any more of a point that that she has no shame in being here whatsoever. Has someone else been here? I have seen Talamba close to here. I've seen Tortoise Pan. I've seen... always time for some grooming. I'm sure she's sniffing that there's been another leopard in this area recently. I love it when they do that. They really do look like little gentle putty cats. And it's to get scent marks higher up the trees. There's a very practical reason for it. They're not. I'm going to stay with this girl all the time she stays on the road. I'm going to stay with her, and if she comes off the road, I'm going to leave her to hunt, because she is definitely hunting.
Good morning and welcome back to Eco Trading Pridelands. At the moment we're at Leopard Dam, and what we're doing is working with tracks of a leopard that came to visit the dam last night and early yesterday morning. And what she did, she hid her cubs quite close by into the drainage line. As we noticed that her tracks went out again, but no tracks of cubs came out again. And then somewhere last night she made a visit in the area again. Now what we're trying to do is determine the direction of where she has gone to. But what we don't want to do is go into a drainage line where we suspect the cubs might be, as this is a pretty dangerous move to execute, especially when it comes to following animals. And you're following females of young, or if you are conducting walks with guests, that's always best to avoid situations like that. And any sounds that sounds like "oh," which is generally a cub from either leopard or lion, should be immediately taken serious, and you should move yourself as well as your guest out of that area. A few things in the meanwhile, we're just going to quickly check what's going on in the dam and just share some of the images of the surrounding area with you. We've got some Egyptian geese, which is on the opposite side, and at the same time we're just going to do a silent segment and allow you to listen to the wind that's crashing through the trees, and hopefully we'll have some bird song to accompany that as well.
Djuma just settled down in some buffalo dung. She rubbed her head around in it a little bit, and she actually gave it a lick. And I've only seen this once before. I've watched a leopard eating hippo dung, and we're a bit confused by the whole thing. But it seems to be there's gut flora in some of that dung that is good for leopard tummies, basically. I'm not quite sure of the exact mechanics of it. But these buffalo being ruminants, this is what we worked out with this hippo dung, so I'm sure it's the same thing. She is making her way straight towards quarantine. I think historically this is her area. I'm sure she's just reaffirming that. But she's well on her way to the junction of Gallagher shortcut. She's sort of halfway between Aubrey's and Gallagher. And I am giving her a little bit of space. We do know there's lots of impalas hang out around quarantine, although the impalas around quarantine are fairly used to these vehicles, so I wouldn't expect to interrupt anything too much. She's a girl with jobs this morning, though. You can see it's definitely not that. There's more buffalo down here. This is much more strategic than this leopard stroll we so often see. See, look, she's going down to this buffalo dung again. And they're also rubbing it to mask their scent to some extent. Stopping, listening. Dr. Rocky Balboa, it's mostly just leopard smell, but it will be different if she is in estrus, or if she's coming into estrus, then her urine will naturally have different pheromones in it. But it's just leopard smell. It's not like hyenas. Hyenas, when they leave their anal pastings, they don't sort of control it. They can't sort of go, oh, okay, I'm going to tell them I'm a girl today. Hey, girlie. But there are different things that can be told from hyena pastings, very specific things. But it will be apparent to male leopards from this scent marking if she is in estrus or almost in estrus. But other than that, it's just I'm a leopard smell that comes out of their head. But also, I think other leopards would recognise probably individual scents. While impala or prey species, I'm fairly sure would just know that it's a leopard smell. I'm fairly sure they would be able to identify individuals, or leopard would be able to identify other individuals from their scent, or at least maybe male, female. But I don't think Jadulu can go, okay, I'm going to rub my head here and let everyone know that I'm a female. It's just going to be a smell that comes out. And again, look down to this buffalo dung. This is like rubbing her head in that. Oh, getting it right up in there. I am going to look when I drive past it to see if that was buffalo dung, because it doesn't... There is buffalo dung all the way over this road from when we had a big herd on. So yeah, was doing that, and not in the elephant dung though, you'll notice. But elephants are hind gut fermenters, not ruminants, so they will have different gut flora to those buffaloes. So while she did come off the road to cut a corner, as I expected, she is sticking mostly to this Voyatella access road. So interesting to see this very different movement though. Bush babe, no, this girl has got big feet. She's got big everything. And the way let's see if we can find one. I don't want to risk losing her to show you a paw print. It's size and shape that we use to determine between male and female tracks. The outside of female tracks are slightly more angular, whereas the males are more rounded. So she has got that slight angle on her pad still, but size-wise, she got big feet. Oh, this is definitely a good tree. Imagine how many different leopards and lions and animals have marked against these marulas here. She's scratching behind that tree. Really wiping her feet, digging that soil and that grass. Oh, and this bush just for good measure. Now, I wonder which way she's going to go. Looks like she's going to pop up onto the power lines here. I would love to try and get around her. Let's see, this is a bit more open. Maybe we can get around and get in front of this girl. I'm hoping she's going to walk up onto one of these termite mounds and live up to her name. But like I said, she seems very focused this morning. I'll come round you here, girlie. She's looking fantastic, actually. She's scanning for impala. I think she's going to go to this big tree here. Let's see if we can get a nice image for you if she does go to this tree. Oh, sorry, Craig. Sorry, sweetheart. That was a bit close. I'm hopeless at this. Having a good sniff. So this is much more open now. So I'm going to stay with her a bit longer. Sorry, Shadulu, that was a little bit close, honey. This is where you go, oh, this is nice and open here, and then there's a huge log or a massive termite hole or mound to fall into. Don't you want to hop up there? She is paying so much attention. Buffalo dung it's a very attractive substance for leopards. But yeah, I find it fascinating that these top carnivores will sometimes Okay. I find it fascinating that these leopards will actually ingest bits of buffalo dung. All the time it stays open like this, I will stay with her. And let's see where she ends up. She's just come off of the access road and she's going through the open area straight towards Zoe's, as I kind of thought she would, but there are no trees or bushes being left uncovered here by this girl. that camouflage. This golden grass this time of year is exactly the same colour as her now. She's going from tree to tree to tree. Okay. Let's carry on. Scanning, looking for impalas, but the bigger problem is if you disturb a duiker or something. So this leopardess has just popped out onto Zoe's and is going straight south. What a joy, what an absolute honour that we're able to follow these animals as they go about their day. I'm just going to give an update on the radio here. Any stations copying me on Djuma?
Go ahead.
I've got Jidulu Mafazi Ingwe Mobile South on Zoe's. I'm the only vehicle here.
Oh, copy. Confirm Zoe East.
Affirm, she's going south on Zoe's.
All right. Keep me updated and I'll be making my way that side. Thank you.
Copied. So as you know, we do need to share these incredible sightings with as many people as possible. And it does work both ways. If we do like to share and then it will come back the other way. Stan, the last I heard, I thought she had a den site on Simbambili. We haven't seen, well, I haven't heard of her being seen on Djuma for a little while, actually. I think she did have a den site on Simbambili, and the last I heard it was a closed site, but I haven't actually had any updates since then. So I know lots of viewers do also follow lodge updates from neighbouring lodges. I don't follow any of these lodges on our boundaries, so maybe someone might be able to give us a better update. I know she did have, I'm fairly sure she did have a den site, but I'm not sure if that is still the case. So all updates would be hugely appreciated. Sorry, sweetheart. Let's see which way she's going to go. I feel like she's probably going to carry on south, but maybe there's a daycare or something around here that she might be interested in. Love, she is. She's definitely a spotted cat on a mission this morning. And it's not difficult to breed. I know everyone that's been watching for, where'd she go? Everyone that's been watching for a while understands about scent marking. But it's not difficult to read. Anyone can see that this girl is definitely on a mission this morning. Just by her body language, she's busy, she's active, she's walking much more quickly than usual. And you can actually see her back feet. If we get a clear view of her feet, her back feet are almost coming over her front feet as she's walking. So she's in horsey world, we call it tracking up. And she's walking quickly. You can tell a lot by an animal's state of mind, what their plans are from looking at their tracks. She's literally touched almost every second or third tree she's walked past. She's now turned a bit. Let's see if we can get around the front. She is moving towards this drainage line now. Ooh. Okay. I think we're gonna, looks like we might lose her down this drainage line. Let's just try to get around the front and see if we can give you one more view of this girlie before we lose her. Where's she gone? You see her, Craig?
Yeah.
Okay. Stations. This Djuma is, she's turned towards the cut that goes towards Quarantine South. She's just crossing this drainage line, still quite mobile. I think we will get over here. I'm just keeping an eye on how wet everything is. These drainage lines can get very sensitive after rain, but I think we'll probably be okay here. She says optimistically. We're going to settle, girl. Okay, let's see if she's going to have a rest here for a bit. Okay, let's see if she's gonna settle. Maybe have a little groom. She's been walking through lots of grass. She's muddy, wet. Maybe she's gonna take a little breather. I just need to let this other vehicle know where this girl is now. Any stations on Djuma copy me?
We'll be following up this.
So we're still with this female. She's crossed this drainage line. Just give me 1 second. I just need to update the other vehicles. Stations, apologies, radio problems. This scheduler female has crossed the drainage east of Zoe's, south of the road that cuts towards Quarantine South. She's mobile here in the block, mobile south.
She's approaching Home Hill Road. She's mobile west.
Okay, let's try this one as well. There's a rather large stick just here that faces forward, so I'm going to try and avoid that. Try and get you a shot through here, Craig. Sorry. Okay, sweetheart, I'm sorry. I am staying with her because there is a couple of other vehicles that are really keen to try and get to this female leopard, so I'm trying my best to help them out where I can. Any stations copy me on this channel? Multitasking to the max. So she's mobile, she's going through this block here. And she'll come out sort of junction Zoe's Rebecca's Road if she keeps going this way, but I don't think they're hearing me on the radio. Any stations copy me on Djuma? See, this is what concerns me, that there's going to be impala or a little stimbok or something sleeping in here. I'm going to give her a little bit of space. I'm going to try and keep an eye on this little white tail tip. Oh, sorry, Craigie. Okay, I must remember I've got a rain roof on here. Normally I can just duck, but... Okay, I can see it, white-tail tip. So this ground is not soggy. I was concerned that it was going to be quite wet under tyres this morning and we might have problems. That's wisteria. I can't drive over that. Okay, I've still got I'm gonna... So this is actually not that far from quarantine. I can see quarantine over to the left. Okay, this is getting a little bit better now. She's still scent marking, but I'm starting to think she's beginning to focus more on hunting now. She's definitely still scent marking. There is no doubt in anyone's minds that this is this girl's turf now. I am trying really hard to avoid logs and holes in here. This must be incredibly frustrating for Craig, because while we can see her, we can't frame her, because if we do, it's going to be ridiculously bumpy and you won't get to see her nicely. So every single centimetre I drive while the vehicle's moving, I can feel Craig going, just stop, so I can film her. So I'm sorry, everyone that's watching. This is completely me who's creating this, and certainly not the fabulous Craig. And now I put a pole in his way again. Okay, let's try this. Let's see if she's going to come to this tree. You beauty, Shadulu. I'm gonna, let's make a plan. Where do you want me?
We'll have to shoot it out the side.
Do you want it this side?
Yeah.
Well, that went well. But now I need to try and get a spot where we're not gonna, I don't wanna sit right underneath. I'm gonna go round this side, Craig, and come from this way. That's too close. I'm not gonna sit there. If you get a shot, is that good? Okay. Oh, well, that was exciting. Now, just let me try and tell other people where this girlie is. This is what I was hoping she was going to do, and she did it right in front of us. What a joy. Station's on Djuma. Station on Djuma. Ooh. Sorry. Station's on Djuma. This Shadulu female Ingwe has gone stationary in Insignia, in the block between Zoe's, Rebecca's. Best access is going to be possibly from Zoe's or Rebecca's. I did just have someone's audio. My game drive radios are not behaving particularly well this morning. And I can imagine the frustration if someone is trying to get to me and they don't know where I am. Bush babes, thank you. Yeah, definitely. Oh, I've had worse. But I'm always torn. I'm very capable of operating. Sorry, standby 1, Bush babe. Yeah, I'm standing by. This, sorry for radio issues. This, Mufazi Ingwe's gone stationary in Insignia, east of Zoe's, north of Rebecca's in the block here. I did just get someone's audio.
All right, it's probably me coming to Rebecca. I closed the road.
Not that close, but not that far. If you start your car, I should be able to let you know.
I'm on an electric vehicle, so I'll be fine with it. But then I'm in between vehicle access and Bellanois is concerned.
Negative. I'm slap bang in between Zoe's Road. I'm east of Zoe's, north of Rebecca's, almost directly north of the junction of those two roads. She crossed the drainage line mobile south and she's now gone stationary. What's your lock? Sorry, Bush baby, I haven't forgotten you. I'm just trying to get another vehicle here because it does work both ways. Next time, if we're desperately trying to find or follow something, they'll also give you backing. So I apologise for you being a part of this radio chatter. Yeah, she's given me a workout, and I don't enjoy off-roading based on more ecological reasoning than physical difficulty. Every time you drive through a tree or over some or over some grass, it does damage. So I do try and avoid it as much as possible. But sometimes, the areas aren't too bad. I'm always very careful about where I place my tyres where possible. I try and avoid all the species like wisterias. And I'm really glad we stayed with her, because this is a beautiful image now. I'm glad we found her for you. Stations coming to this Jidulu female Ingwe. See, what we would often do if someone is with an animal in a block like this, and you can't really give much more direction than in between these two roads, what we would normally do is someone would start their car, but the guy who's trying to get is in an electric vehicle, so that doesn't help anyone really. She's had a tough morning. I'm sure she's going to have a little rest here now for a bit. Probably not too long. I don't think it's going to heat up particularly today.
Hello there.
Yeah, what's your lock?
I'm closer to the power line side, power line road, and I see where you went off. Are you closer to that side?
Come to either Zoe's or Rebecca's road, and when you get closer, I'll start, and you'll be able to hear my vehicle. I'm going to send everyone over to... Negative. Junction, Zoe's road, Rebecca's road. I'm going to send you over to JP while I try and sort this out and see what JP has for you this morning.
Close to Badanitis, right?
Good morning and welcome back to Eco Training Pridelands. We've been following a male lion so far this morning, and unfortunately he gave us a slip just as we approached, and then from there he entered a very thick block. So we had to reorientate and figure out where he's heading, and what we did find was in the direction of where we thought that he was going as a big breeding herd of buffalo. So this is very likely what our big male lion is following. And big males, they don't have problems of taking down buffalo. However, they will still be looking for stragglers who are falling behind the group. It's also amazing to watch how far this lion actually walked, because he came right from the west and then made his way all towards the east and then started walking north again after the buffalo. That's most likely what he's been doing, is he's following the scent of their feces as well as the smell of the buffalo. And probably what he's also trying to attempt to do is diagonally walking with the wind so that he can actually pick up their scent again and then from there on follow. We're just going to reposition and watch our buffalo for a little bit longer and see what they get up to. This is a big breeding herd that we quite often find in this area, although we say quite big. It consists approximately of some 80 individuals. Good morning, Astrid. Personally, I don't go and smell cat urine, but you know, they claim that leopard smells like popcorn, but not everybody can smell that odor. I do sometimes get it, but it's sometimes you can't really. I've never really went to go and smell lion urine. There's our buffalo group again. One with decoration on his head with some leaves after he's been holding a tree. And there's also some oxpeckers sitting up on them. Well, I was just going to say earlier on that this is quite a large group for us in this area, but we typically find that herds can get up to 100 and 900 individuals within the greater Kruger area. And then when you do go to East Africa, you sometimes find herds of buffalo, which are several thousand. These days we find that buffalo only occurs in most of the conservation areas throughout South Africa, but what I also find is that historically they used to occur right throughout South Africa, as far down south as Cape Point.
So you just missed a stunning Shadulu dismount by seconds. It did look like she was looking at something from this tree. So I'm going to proceed with caution. I did just hear Franklin's alarm calling in front of us. Oh, the sun's coming out. How lovely. Craig, you were right. It's not raining. Okay, I can see her. I didn't think she was going to stay here for too long. This girl is very busy this morning. But, oh, that was a lovely image of... Ooh! A lovely image of her in this tree. She's mobile again, straight towards Rebecca's road. That's a big branch that's going to break things. Rain roof. Careful, Craig. Ooh, that's a big something there. Oh my goodness me. Oh, we're on real adventures this morning. Okay, I can still see him. She's mobile straight to...
Yeah, I'm sure they might push you.
She's mobile straight towards Rebecca's Road. I've got someone's audio.
I'm going to double check. Tell me where I am from you.
Yeah, come straight north. I've got your audio. You're 150 metres away. Switch off. I'm going to start the vehicle now. Going radio down, radio down.
Yeah, she's north of us.
She's got a... hello. Sorry, you're back with me. There's an Impala here. She's just gone flat. There's an Impala just in front of her here, but I think he's spotted her. There is another vehicle coming in. I'm just going to tell them to take their time. Oh, this is a lot of excitement for a Sunday morning.
I'm just behind you.
There is a Mala just here. Just come in slow. Okay, when these other vehicles get here, I'm going to leave this girl. We've had an amazing sighting with her. And I don't want any more vehicles than is necessary with this girl. She is trying to hunt. So next time she moves away from us, I'm gonna leave her. We've had this girl for about an hour, I think, which is very, very nice. I'm not going to leave, but I'm not going to follow her anymore. There's just a little plane went over then. So that Impala hasn't snorted yet. And she's gone flat in the grass, and this is where we need to stay nice and still. The fact that that Impala hasn't alarm called tells me that he doesn't know she's here. And it was another male, and as we've seen and we've spoken about, there's a massively increased chance of predation on these Impala rams as they come into the rutting season. I just found a really cool insect down here. This insect just landed on my leg. Come on, off my hand, go onto the thing. It's gonna jump. Oh, all things great and small, right? Come on, off my hand. I'm just loving these insects at the moment. And I think this was this same, I can't remember what it's called. One of the types of hoppers. I don't think it's a grasshopper, but I think this was the insect that was involved in Ben's amazing mantid grasshopper standoff a couple of weeks ago. I'm not gonna stay with this Shiduli female anymore. There's 2 vehicles here. We've had stunning sightings with her. And if she does... The more vehicles that are with her, the less likely she is to catch something. So I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to leave these 2 vehicles with her. And because I've helped these guys to this sighting, maybe if no one else comes, we can come back a little bit later. But I want to see what she does. I do not want to jeopardize this girl's morning hunting. So I'm going to start leaving this area. I'm going to send you back to JP and his buffalo. I'm going to stay in touch with these guys, and if anything does happen here, they will 100% let me know.
Welcome back to Eco Training Pridelands. At the moment, we're still with our buffalo and watching what they're getting up. 1 or 2 of the cows actually came closer to the vehicle to come and investigate. As we've got a lot of swirling wind, and I think with the wind, they're also uncertain about what's going on. And obviously, with a male lion that has been following them, that's also added some pressure onto them to be incredibly vigilant and a little bit more on the edge. So let's watch and see what they get up to. And the general direction of where they're moving now is pretty consistent with that of an Ndlovu Dam. And I'm very sure that they will be heading there for a drink very soon. It's still probably a kilometers in distance for them to get there, but let's keep our eyes open and see what they do. Good morning, Kerry, and welcome to the show. When it does come to a big male lion, yes, he can take down a buffalo like this very easily. And in his case, he'll most likely go for either young animals or sick animals that is falling behind. And that is the safest option, because there's always a straggler that's falling behind. But you don't want to put a risk at your, by moving into the big part of the herd, trying to single out an individual. However, our single lioness, Agatha, did actually try the other day to go into the herd and go for a young one. We so saw that the leopard also did a similar move that very same day by trying to make a move onto one of the young buffalo calves. But in their case, the buffalo calf, the buffalo detected the leopard and then chased her, and they chased her straight into the lioness, which then chased the leopard. And when it does come to leopards and lions, they don't get along very well, and they will try and outcompete one another where they can, and also they will kill one another's young to reduce the amount of competition, because most animals are all after one thing, and that is prey that can support themselves, and if they don't have to share it or compete with other predators, even better. There's also the reason why we find that the hyenas will kill lion cubs and leopard cubs and vice versa as well. For the moment, let's keep our eyes on our buffalo and see what they're getting up to. A lot of oxpecker action, and I'm amazed about how many yellow-billed oxpeckers have been in this group this morning. And the one closest to us over here is actually a red. You can see it's got an all-red bill and then a red eye with a yellow eye wattle, compared to that of a yellow-billed oxpecker, which is slightly larger and darker, which has a combination of red and yellow bill coloration. So for those of you that are first-time visitors that are not familiar with buffalo as well as oxpeckers, and the oxpeckers actually in some way do them a favor by alerting them of potential threats, but they also do them a favor by removing quite a large amount of ticks off their coats. And sometimes they don't do them any favors. They actually open up wounds. And there's this cow that we were looking for now in this group, which was spined by a lion a few weeks ago. And she managed to survive, but there was an open wound on the spine. And the oxpeckers actually kept that open for several days. And what happens then is that flies will lay their eggs inside there, and that will provide them with a sufficient amount of maggots. And by keeping it open, we'll also see that flies will constantly lay their eggs inside there. Also, when it does come to oxpeckers, they've actually got quite a strange diet. And one of the things that you see, other than just feeding on ticks, obviously they're after the blood inside the ticks, they also feed on earwax as well as scabs, which forms a big part of their diet too. And just out of pure interest, a little red-billed oxpecker like that, which has been dissected in the past as a scientific research, they've actually found that there's up to 1,667 ticks, which is inside the stomach of a single individual, and that's a lot of ticks. Good morning, Jason, and welcome to the show. As far as I know, there's no real function for the yellow coloration in the eye to help it with something, but it's most likely important in some form of visual communication in terms of identifying species as well as different age groups. That's what I would suggest. You can just hear these oxpeckers alarming now, and there's a bird of prey that's actually coming over. Looks like a young African harrier hawk that's flying past. And their main thing that they're looking for was crested francolins as well as guinea fowls. Let's have another look and see what it is. Our buffalo is now moving into the thicket, and we're going to lose sight of them very soon. Welcome back to Eco Training Pridelands. We've located on a big breeding herd of buffalo this morning, and they're slowly grazing their way towards the Ndlovu Dam, where they're most likely going to pop in for a drink very soon. I hope that we can get them there before show actually closes, as I would love to see them in the open. Interesting behavior that we just noticed with them, that several of the oxpeckers which were sitting on them all alarm called when a bird of prey actually approached overhead. And from there, the oxpeckers went silent, and we've seen that they're all flown off and moved in vegetation away from the buffalo. When it does come to harrier hawks, they do actually catch quite a wide range of different birds, but mostly they go for francolins and guinea fowls. And quite often, we also find that they will be trailed by tawny eagles, which will actually take away their prey from them. As a tawny eagle is slightly larger and also more aggressive in its behavior. Just going to see if we can reposition and get a better view in our buffalo. Actually, they've now all moved into this thick area. I can see some of the individuals popping out in the front here again. There we go.
And now for something completely different. In the great words of a very well-known British comedy. This caterpillar was actually on Craig's sleeve. So I've gently removed it from Craig's sleeve and I'm going to put him back in the grass just now. But I just wanted to show you this cool caterpillar. I don't know what it is. We would normally say, if we're not sure, maybe one of the hawk moths, but I don't think it is. I think this is probably I don't know what it is. I'm not going to try and make it up. If anyone would like to send us in the answer, please feel free. But I just know it's very cool. I know this much. And if these hairs get in your skin or down your shirt, you will itch like crazy. I'm just going to let him walk across once more, and then I'm going to put him back where I found him. Oh, well, not where I found him, because I found him on Craig's sleeve. All things great and small, hey? All things great and small. Okay. Sorry, little caterpillar. Let's put you back in the grass. But don't fall, don't fall. Okay, conversations with the caterpillar. Oh, I'm attached to things. There you go. You go back in the grass. There you go. Off you go. Bye. So yeah, if anyone can tell me what that is, I would be delighted to hear. So we've left this lovely female leopard shadulu. What a great sighting we had with her. So nice to be able to spend so much time involved in the day of this gorgeous girl. I have said to the vehicles that are there, they will let me know if anything does occur in there. And I also asked them if they had any information about any lions. They said they're on Hoffman's. Yeah, let's carry on, I guess. Maybe we'll go and have a little look and see what's happening with our hyenas this morning. But what a fun-filled morning that was. And it's not over yet. Let's go this way. This is clearing. Look at this sky. It's definitely lifting. It was forecast to a little bit forward. Oops, Rusty, play the game. To the right. This is clearing. So this cloud cover was very heavy when we came out this morning. But look, we've got bits of blue. And we've got a little bit of sun peeping through the clouds now, which is fabulous. I must admit, I know rain is very important for the environment and everything, but I grew up in England and I've seen a lot of rain in my time. So I'm not the biggest fan of driving in the rain. And then we had those few incredibly hot days. Middle ground, Mother Nature, that would be great. Gulliver, I was Rusty. Play nicely. Gulliver, I was born in Epsom in Surrey, so the south of England. I grew up around the south of England, around Epsom, sort of maybe about an hour from the south coast and probably 45 minutes south of central London. Yeah, I spent most of my childhood riding horses. I was an avid horse rider. So yeah, a little bit different to here. I have done some, it's a leaf. I've done some horseback guiding when I was doing my training around Mashatu up towards Botswana. But yes, I grew up in rural Surrey. I'm actually heading back there at the end of April for a visit. It was so funny, I think it was Jade yesterday said she was going for a walk on Box Hill for her time in nature, and I know Box Hill well. I've been for walks on Box Hill in Surrey. I'd love to still hear what everyone is doing in nature on their Sunday. As I keep saying, it doesn't have to be a whole day, just 15, 30 minutes outside with your favourite drink. I actually used to do it with guests sometimes, and I know we do it with you quite a lot, but I used to sometimes, I've had to confiscate phones from guests, especially some of my younger guests, and enforce quiet time. And I used to do it quite regularly. It's very difficult for some people to switch off. And over the years, it is a very different life in cities and towns and in different countries. And I've had to practice with myself, and I still do have to practice enforcing that quiet time and just sitting and being in nature. It's good for the soul. Maybe if someone's got a screenshot, I should have taken a photo actually. I'll try and remember what that caterpillar looked like. I have got a butterfly book that does have some caterpillars in. I've dropped down to just 4 books with me this morning as opposed to the 11 I normally have, because I thought they were all going to get soaking wet. And obviously the one day I don't bring my butterfly book out is when I find my caterpillar. See, none of the roads are soggy, so maybe that rain was indeed correct. I was expecting it to be slushy out here, but it's not. The drainage in these areas of the Sabi Sands, the drainage is fantastic. Very sandy, loamy soils. And with that help from these mitre drains that we put in, the drainage is actually very, very good in these areas. I've worked in some reserves, as I said yesterday. I think it's still raining in Madikwe, and they do have lots of black cotton soil there, which can be incredibly sticky. Coming to the southern section, the bottom of Zoe's Road now, and I'm gonna hop up to our hyena dens, have a look. Oh, there's lots of hyena tracks here. Have a look up there, see what's happening. Nice cool morning. I'm sure if they were hiding earlier from the rain and the wind, they might come out and play now, but we'll see. We will all go together and we will have a look and see what's happening. No update on Wendy. we believe the famous Opar is going to be back probably tomorrow morning, and I'm sure he will fix Wendy in seconds. There's some impala up here on the road. Let's have a look and see who we've got here. Looks like we've got a bachelor group of boys. So these guys are still footloose and fancy free without all those responsibilities that will come when their turn arrives. I think I just heard JP's been seeing some yellow-billed oxpeckers. That's very cool. I actually saw a yellow-billed oxpecker not long ago in the Kruger on an impala. It's quite exciting. All of these males are looking so fit and healthy at the moment. Very relaxed. Let's carry on along Philemon's cut line.
Welcome back to Eco Training Pridlands. We quickly went to go and pop in at Ndlovu Dam but we are waiting for our buffalo to make their way over here. They now went through a thicket where we could no longer follow, and as their direction is heading straight towards the dam, we expect them to be here in the next 15 to 20 minutes. We did find some impalas, and at the moment we can only see a single ram in this group, and this ram has definitely secured himself a small little harem of females. Sometimes you'll see males actually securing groups of up to 50 females, which is probably the largest group that I've seen with a single ram. They were all busy lying up, and all of them had their heads pointing in different directions. As it's incredibly windy, they're also incredibly nervous, and they have to keep their eyes open for what's going on around them. Although, if it was me on a cold day like this, I would probably go and lie somewhere where there is actually no effect with wind chill. But for them, the safer choice is to be rather exposed to the wind chill factor and be in the open so that they can spot predators, as with hearing as well as smell is now compromised. One of the things that we did notice with a lot of the impalas this morning is how their coats are actually ruffled up and looks very untidy. And the reason why is they simply raise their hairs and hair to keep them warm. Compared to a warm flat process willingly to actually trap air inside or to make yourself look larger. In the case of warthogs and a host of other species of animals, there's a fancy name for it. It's actually phylloerection. It seems as if some of them is now actually just starting to relax again. But every time that we do have an incredibly strong gust of wind coming through, It's like if they just very suddenly get spooked by the wind and then pop up and then start steering around again. Good morning, Pauline, and welcome to the show. And to add on to your comment, yes, they're in incredibly good condition. One of the things that I really look at for when it comes to their well-being and health is actually the hindquarters. And if the ribs start being exposed on the hindquarters, then you know that the animals are losing condition. But for impala, they maintain all year good around good condition, as that they actually focus on both eating leaf material as well as grass material. And by being a mixed feeder, you don't suffer in the times of food shortage if you compare that to an animal that might only be a selective grazer, which focuses on only high quality grasses. And now that winter month is kicking in, we see that there's less and less grass available for animals to feed. And those that have a combination of both grass as well as leaf material, therefore, are the ones that come out a little bit more successful. I reckon it's also one of the reasons why they are so successful as a species. They're also one of the most numerous antelope species in the area. We also find that when it does come to the lambing season, they all will actually lamb in a very short space of time. And it's believe that by providing or producing a large amount of lambs in a very short period of time, that the effects of predation is also less on the species compared to antelope species which have got scattered births throughout the year, which actually do suffer a larger loss in numbers when it does come to predation on lambs. Good morning, Hayley, and welcome to the show. I wish there was crocodiles because I love watching crocodiles and I love talking about them as well, as they're absolutely fascinating creatures. But for some reason, we've never had crocodile on Pridelands, but you should never say no. Any dam in the Lowveld region actually holds the potential of having a crocodile. Crocodiles do wander, and quite often I have actually found them on foot well away from water. It's actually quite scary when you suddenly hear a very unfamiliar sound of something that you didn't see lying very flat down on the ground, suddenly raising up and making a funny, it's almost like a gargling sound that they produce. We also had a big giggle about it that day when we did walk into it, and then we just left our crocodile and he carried on resting underneath a tree. He was probably going to the next big water body that he can find. I think there's records that actually state that they've walked almost 50 kilometers between water bodies to get to new water bodies. That's also one of the reasons why I don't swim in any of the dams in the Lowveld or rivers, even though people will tell you that there is no crocodiles inside them. Well, we're going to hang around here a little bit longer, but for the moment, let's just enjoy the scene of the dam and watch our impalas and wait for our buffalo to come in and listen to all the different sounds that we can hear in the background. But for now, let's go and see what Kelly is up to.
With your buffalo, JP. I was very excited to see my big herd of buffalo that I had a couple of days ago. I'm almost at the 2-track here. for this hyena den. We shall go in together and see what's happening here. It sounds like the den site that I had the porcupine in might be active again. But I'm going to pop into these other two first. There's lots of hyena tracks up and down this road, so let's cross our fingers or hold our thumbs, depending on where we're from. Okay, so let's have a look here. Well, we've got a dwarf mongoose there. Okay, so this is one I think they were using yesterday. And we have nobody home. Sorry for the pole, Craig. So let's carry on to this next one, also just off Taxons. Sorry for the tree. Let's have a look-see. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Okay, there is no one here either. Oh! Where did you come from, sweetie? I'm sorry, I was looking at the hole. I'm so sorry, honey. I'm sorry, I was looking at the hole. I apologise, sweetheart. Shame. I feel terrible. I'm sorry, honey. I'm sure everyone else saw her. Okay. I'm so sorry to disturb your morning. A little bit of hyena yoga going on here. Morning stretches. Corinne, I have pondered this many times about these animals getting winter coats. And I've discussed it with people on many occasions, and we think not, which I find fascinating because I know horses do, for sure. I've spent many years trying to de-winter coat horses. But as far as I'm aware, no. It wouldn't surprise me if maybe there is a bit of development that comes under their outer fur, but I've never noticed it. All I have noticed that animals here do, they fluff themselves up when they're cold. But not a winter coat that I'm aware of, which is strange. Maybe it's because, you know, the domestic animals have had to adapt because we have domesticated them. So therefore they're more able to change their coats. But no, that was a really long way of saying no. Good morning, Lady Ribbon. Are you, Ribbon? Let me see your tail. These are big animals when you see them sitting up like this. See, lots of these, there's lots of grooming and preening and things going on this morning, and it's because of this rain. The rain that we've been having. And hyenas, I did actually find a hyena regurgitation a little while ago that had bits of hoof and lots of hair in it. So they do have different features of both dogs and cats, but they will cough up fur. Maisie, Ribbon looked smaller than yesterday. She couldn't move last night. Maybe she was very full last night. Is she going to call these cubbies out? I'm so sorry, Ribbon. I feel terrible for disturbing you. I still think Corky's one of the biggest hyenas I've ever seen. And it really is very different seeing these animals up close and personal too. It's very difficult to translate. I once bumped into a hyena in a kitchen and in a passageway. I think the passageway was probably more disturbing because I walked into it. I opened the door was open. I walked around the corner and a hyena lifted its head out of a bin. And I sort of backed away very quickly. That bin it was all theirs. But then I bumped into another hyena in a passageway once. I think we both got as much of a fright as each other. But that hyena head was sort of my chest height. And we both gave each other a fright. Okay, Ribbon's on her way out. So am I. Nice to know they're using it, and I feel absolutely terrible for not seeing her. Oh, that will teach me to look into den holes instead of where I'm going. So as you know, we can't stay here if the adults are present, but it's good to know Ribbon is here. Let's pop around to the other site where the porcupine was and see if we have any activity there. It's good to know they are still around. As I said, I wasn't worried. We do know they move around. They did the same thing in 2020. They did pop around between Philemon's and the Taxon's Road den sites. It's just a case of working out where they are. And it also, I don't think it does them any harm if they do move and we don't find them for a little while. While they are completely relaxed with the vehicles, I personally don't think it does them any harm to give them a little bit of a break for a while. There's an orange tip butterfly there, Craig, that's not moving. Let's see if I manage to capture my second butterfly since I've been here. Gorgeous orange tip butterfly, and it's sitting still for a change. Ah, stunning image. I'm gonna take a picture on my monitor of this. I'm fairly sure this is an orange tip, but there are different butterflies with orange tips on their wings, so I'm gonna grab an image because I need to really work on my butterfly IDs, and we do this all during the summer. We all practice flowers, practice butterflies, and then they all disappear for the winter, and then by the time they come back again, invariably I've forgotten. We're not going to be seeing these butterflies for too much longer. as the winter months come.
Welcome back to Eco Training Pridelands. Eventually our buffalo bulls started making their way down, although we're still waiting for the rest of the breeding herd. One of them is at the edge of the water, while the other one is starting to nervously stare around. As it's incredibly strong wind, they know that there's a very good chance that they are at risk. And what most likely is going to happen, that our second bull is going to move back into the herd and then wait for the rest of the group before it actually comes down towards water. It's rather always better to play safe and stick to numbers, and as long as you're in a group as a buffalo, it's very effective to counter-attack. And sometimes we find that some of these older bulls, they just don't care. Now, when it does come to attack, we normally will find that in a breeding herd like that the females with calves will immediately start bunching up the calves, and then the males will surround them and very quickly start either trying to toss a lion into the air by using its horns and gorging it, or simply trampling it. I'm just going to keep our eyes open for the rest of the herd. They'll probably be here in the next few minutes. But for now, let's watch our single buffalo bull, which is drinking. Good morning, Karen, and welcome to the show. They don't really have to chase them away because they don't really compete with them in any way. The only other animal that we do find that will chase animals away from waterholes generally is actually elephants, and especially big lone elephant bulls. They tend to always try and secure a whole waterhole for itself, and they will chase anything from buffalo as well as impalas and a host of other animal species away from the waterhole. A few days ago, we were actually watching two young elephant bulls that were intimidating a buffalo that came in to come and have a mud wallow. The same two individuals, we also saw them a few days later, and then eventually they chased the warthogs, which we were trying to actually put onto a segment. One of the things that we do normally find with buffalo is that they're pretty predictable about drinking, and normally I find that they either will come in once or twice a day to come and drink. And when you do understand the animal's behavior in terms of predictability about water consumption, that also makes it very easy for you. In the case of when we found our buffalo, we looked at the general direction, and when animals start moving into a general direction, or when we find tracks being consistent in the general direction, they tend to stick into that direction. And that was pretty much straight in line with this dam. That's why we knew that they were going to pop out over here. Also, time of day is also a very valuable tool when it comes to actually looking for specific animal species. Quite often when it comes to rhinos, we find that they drink in the early morning, especially white rhino, or late afternoon. They can drink twice. Black rhino you tend to find to drink at night. And then when it does come to buffalo, morning and afternoon, I've sometimes watched the same herds coming in 2 or 3 times in a day in a single waterhole. Then other species such as waterbuck, you know that you're always going to find them very close to water, as they're probably one of the most water dependent of all species. That's why you also seldom find them more than a kilometer or 2 away from water. They're also a very good indicator species if you are lost and you are in need of locating water. Then some species, like duikers and klipspringers and steenbok, they're totally water independent. But once again, there's exception to every rule. There I've even found that they will actually walk big distances to water in the winter months. And at this specific dam, I've often seen duiker coming in, both in the morning and in the afternoon to come and drink. And then at Leopard Dam, we've actually noticed that there was a steenbok which had a territory which was probably 1.7 kilometers away from Leopard Dam. And that's steenbok pair used to walk down to come and drink and then move back on the same route back onto their territory again. Well, we're going to stick around here for a little bit longer, as we know that the herd is going to pop in here very soon. But for now, let's go and see what Kelly is up to.
So I've just come around to the other hyena den, the old new hyena den that Djuma was at. And there's no hyenas here, but we've just this beautiful lizard. And I think again, see, I didn't bring my reptile bag. I think this is a rough scale plated lizard. I'm just looking at the images of giant plated, and I think giant plateds have got a slightly sort of rounder nose without such heavily keeled scales. So keeled is sort of ridged. So again, I'm going to go for a rough scale plated lizard, and this lizard is loving this sun. I'm sure it's been chilly here with this wind, and obviously these cold-blooded reptiles don't really have any other means of thermoregulation other than placing themselves in hot and cold places. Very creamy colour under its throat and these very bumpy ridged scales. It's actually much more these reptiles and things that these cold-blooded goodies, it's actually much more energy efficient to be cold-blooded. Mammals and these things that need to use energy resources to maintain or regulate their body temperatures, they need to consume more energy. They need more food in order to regulate their temperatures. It takes energy. Everything in nature takes energy. So these cold-blooded things, they don't need that extra energy to regulate their body temperatures. If they're hot, they'll find a cool spot, and if they're cool, they'll find a warm spot, and repeat. So they don't need to consume as many calories or as much energy, so it's actually a very efficient way to be. And they are perfectly adapted for that. Oliver, yeah, I think they would. I don't think they would have any qualms about trying to eat this lizard. They can get through femur bones of kudu and things, so I don't think they'd have any problems with trying to eat this lizard. It wouldn't surprise me if the young ones played with it a little bit. I think there was an amazing sighting with, I think it was Marips that I saw. I wasn't there. I did see it with a monitor lizard. And most of these, especially hyenas, especially leopards, they've got quite diverse diets, which makes them so successful. So it was young Marips that was having I was going to call it an interaction, but probably more of a hunt than an interaction. And this monitor, it slapped him with its tail, and he was a bit unsure. I didn't actually see the conclusion. I would assume he ate it, but I haven't actually seen the conclusion. And sometimes, you know, these younger animals, they won't quite have the confidence, but this is how they learn. This is how they learn. They will have interactions with lots of different animals here, I'm sure. I've never seen it, but I've seen a leopard kill a porcupine. I've never seen it with my eyes, but I've seen clips of it. And I've got a good friend who's actually filmed it. Leopard killing porcupine, not easy. But lots of these carnivores have a very mixed, varied diet. I think leopard have been recorded eating something like 30 plus foodstuffs. And I've said before, all the way from alates, insects, believe it or not, all the way up to the biggest thing I've ever seen a leopard kill was a big male kudu. Again, I didn't see it, but there was a skull on one of the roads where I used to work, and my tracker actually said he saw this big male leopard kill this enormous male kudu. It is quite insane how efficient these predators are. But I've never seen a hyena kill a lizard. I don't know if JP has. But yeah, I don't think they'd have any problem snacking on this lizard at all.
Welcome back to Pridelands. We're still at Ndlovu Dam. Some of our buffalo have popped in for a drink, and we're still waiting for the bigger part of the herd to make their way down here. At the moment, we're also watching a number of impalas on the opposite side. There's a few interesting behaviors which we've noticed. And one of it is that the ram that has secured himself a harem is chasing a number of the females, which is specifically in estresses this time. The females are not too interested in him at the moment, and they try to run away from him. And it does take some work from him and commitment to actually follow her. And eventually what you'll notice is that they will tap the female on the ankle before that, to indicate that they want to mate as well, which is quite a common behavior with most species of antelope. Some of the other behaviors that we can see is that there's a large number of individuals which is either grooming themselves or being groomed by others. And what they have is a very specific dentition that allows them to actually groom themselves and remove ticks and other parasites out of their coat. And then that is actually because of a tooth being loose in the socket. They reckon that impalas that are on their own, where a male is on a territory without any females or anybody else, actually has a 6 times higher tick load on them because of the inability to groom themselves compared to individuals which will be groomed by others.
The lizard that I still believe to be a rough-scaled plated lizard, and I'm gonna have a scoot around Ingwe Alley. Bizarrely, I want to check my puddle because I would like to see if that water level has gone up from the last couple of days of rain, and I think I'm going to come around the back, have a quick look at Dam Cam because I want to see the parrots a bit as well. So that's what we shall do. And the sun has come out. What a joy. Lovely temperatures here now. I'm sure our angry brown snake eagle from first thing this morning is going to have dried out beautifully. South coast there, close to the New Forest. Beautiful. I've also spent time in the New Forest. I've had a couple of holidays down there. It's a gorgeous area. People often don't realise just how many lovely natural open spaces there are in England. The Dales, the Fells, the Highlands of Scotland. New Forest is a stunning, stunning area. I've been there several times. You're in a good place there, Leopard Queen. Quite surprised that I'm excited to get to a puddle. I haven't been there, but there are some beautiful wetland areas as well. And thank you very much for volunteering as a guide. You do great work. Thank you. Okay, well, this is actually lower than it was the other day. I am going to hop out. I'll go this way. Other way. Forward. I'll get the hang of this one day, Craig. Maybe. So our puddle is actually drier than it was. I'm going to hop out and we will have a look at our lines. Yeah, okay, I'm now believing that we only got 1 mil of rain. I thought this might have filled up a bit, but clearly not. Okay, any lions or elephants here? So this has been just over a week now. I've been marking this puddle. Is that my puddle stick? Oh, excuse my wires. So this was our first line. This was our second line, and then 3 days. So it hasn't dropped too much from the third line. But this side has got much lower. There's hardly anything left here now. And I think by this time next week, this is going to be dry. It really is changing so fast here now. There's some nice hyena tracks here. Sometimes you get some lovely bird tracks around these puddles. Let me just see if there's anything else. Ooh, I don't want to fall in like Cedric did. I can't see too many other tracks here. But I just wanted to show you how fast this has dropped over the last... I must actually check the exact date I came here. I'm going to leave my puddle stick there, but this is almost dry now. I thought it might have filled up. But let's carry on. I want to scoot around to see if our parrot family's there, and I want to work out if we can see that hole from dam cam. I don't think we can, but I want to check my workings. Also grown quite fond of the parrot family. I've written it in my own diary, because I keep a diary every day of what I've seen and what I've been doing. Can you, wasn't it, we came together, didn't we, Craig?
Yeah, we remember that.
Yeah. Did we do it together the first time? Or did I? I can't remember who I did it with the first time. I'm going to have a look back in my diary. It's definitely less than 2 weeks. It's more than a week and less than 2 weeks, but let me go back and check the exact day that we made that first line. I think it's about 10 days. I'm sure it's around about the 10-day mark that it's dropped that quickly. But we did have those 2 very, very hot days. And I'm sure we lost a lot of water in those 2 days. I know I did. I think I evaporated substantially in those 2 hot days. So we're going to carry on Ingwe Alley and then jump out onto Twin Dams Road. I have to ask Tessa and Cedric to keep a close eye on my puddle for me. I think that's the last of this rain now. It's looking like it's going to go back up into the 30s. I think I saw on, what day is it, Sunday? Like by Wednesday, Thursday, it's going to be back up to 34. Very warm for this time of year. Oops. Sorry, Rusty. This is perfect morning weather for me now. Not too hot. Nice bit of blue skies. Yes, we're hoping to get Wendy back happy and healthy again, hopefully tomorrow. Fingers crossed. The lovely Wendy. These, both Wendy and Rusty, really do both have so much character. And they've got some stories to tell. So many stories. Annalise, I really struggled to get used to the change in the seasons, you're right. But some parts of South Africa are different. I think Cape Town is the opposite, down towards the Cape. But certainly this area, the Lowveld area, also up towards the northwest. The summer is the wet season and the winter is the dry season. But many places, well, I was going to say England is the opposite, but England's just wet all the time, really. But I really struggled to get used to that flip in the seasons, and it sounds like you've got that same flip there in New Zealand. I remember my first hot Christmas. I was very confused by the Christmas in 40 degrees. But I'm nearly used to it now. South Africa's actually got lots of different biomes. One of the things that makes it so nice and diverse here, especially for nature and especially for game viewing. I'm going to send you back to JP. I think he might still have his buffalo there.
Welcome back to Eco Training Pridelands. I've just also been thinking of that comment about Kelly and seasons. That's one thing that I didn't like a lot about England, and that it was winter and rain for all of spring. Okay, so in South Africa, we're very fortunate, especially over here in the Lowveld region, to actually have all year round temperatures which are quite pleasant. And the majority of winter, I still wear shorts. There's 1 or 2 days it really catches me, and then I have to go and put on trousers. Going back to our breeding herd of buffalo, they're now starting to slowly approaching the water, and there's more and more of them that we can see that's all scattered out towards our south as if they're coming out of a thicket. It's one of our bulls in front of us, just put up his head and he's busy smelling as the wind is blowing straight towards him at that one point. And he's just making 100% sure that it's safe around the water's edge. When it does come to buffalo, we generally find that the individuals that lead the group is actually referred to as pathfinders. And those pathfinders are not always the highest ranking individuals in the group, as the highest ranking individuals will be dominant males. But they do play a very important role when it comes to leading the group towards water, feeding areas and resting areas, and determining when everybody is going to stop resting and move on. A few seconds ago, I was actually watching one of these individuals just before the segment went live, and we actually seen that there was actually a number of fork-tailed drongos which was also following them. What the drongos simply do is they wait for the buffalo to disturb insects and then simply catch the insects. But unlike for oxpeckers, they don't play any role in terms of alerting them of any potential threats or removing parasites off their coat. Or at least they do in some ways, most likely will alert them, but not remove any parasites. The rest of our buffalo has now just slowly disappeared behind the bush again. There's another individual that's just coming out here from my right-hand side. That's one of the things that I really find pretty amazing is how quietly buffalo can be. Especially when they're on their own, you very seldom will actually hear them vocalize. And vocalizations generally only take place when they're in a group, and quite often when they are also distressed, or something is, in that case, with a predator is actually bothering them. When I do look at them, one of our students brought his little brother with him a few years ago on course for a few days, and his little brother and him had quite a big age gap difference between them. He was only 4, but for some reason he had a fancy in Star Wars, and he would often tell me, "JP, look, the buffalo looks like Darth Vader." So every time I do see a buffalo, I'm always thinking of this little kid with his comment about the buffalo that looks like Darth Vader. If you wondered why they've got that massive skull cap, that is there to protect the brain. And when it does come to males, you'll find that it's fused in the center, compared to that there's a separation between cows when it does come to the horn and the skull cap. And males will often run at one another at speeds of approximately 45 kilometers an hour, and that is a major big impact of probably some 90 kilometers per hour if you combine the kinetic energy force. It's like taking a car and driving into a brick wall at that point. And it's also interesting, if you do look at the brain, it's pretty much the same size as my fist, but it's actually elongated, and therefore producing a smaller surface area to prevent injury from also taking place.
Okay, Darth Vader. Now I think the same thing. Looks like those buffalo are coming along one by one to have a drink. In the meantime, I'm sitting with this beautiful male waterbuck, just close, almost underneath Jam Camp, actually, I'm sure. He's been hanging around here for a little while now. Very regal looking. And while male kudu get taller, I think male waterbuck actually gets slightly heavier than big male kudu. Surveying his domain, and what a good domain it is too. So these waterbuck, the mostly grazers, very water dependent. He has chosen a good spot indeed here at the dam. Laying down in this grass, it's definitely warmed up, but there's still a bit of a breeze. But these male waterbuck are certainly fine looking animals. He actually does look very regal sitting there. Nose up, nose to the air, nose to the breeze. I haven't seen any females here for a little while, but if I was a female waterbuck, this would certainly be one of the places I might choose to hang out. I have come across here for another reason, to also see my, oh, it's not mine. I keep calling them mine. They're not mine. They belong to nature, but you do get very possessive over these characters here. The parrot hole. And I don't think we are going to be able to actually see into this hole from dam cam. I think we would see if there was a head sticking out. But I was watching yesterday when it was raining, and I know that this hole here is where we believe they're nesting, because there was one of them sat next to the hole on that sticky outy bit on the right in the pouring rain, and I was trying to work out why they both weren't in the hole or in the nest, and I realised that maybe there wasn't space for two, and then they both left. But this is where we think our brown-headed parrots have laid a clutch of eggs, but we have nobody present. There's a starling at the top of this tree singing its heart out at the moment. All the birds are calling now. They weren't calling this morning. This sound doesn't travel nicely when the air is wet and cold. Nice and peaceful here at the dam this morning. Yes, these starlings actually have lots of different sounds they make. All of the so the starlings we see here, the Cape Glossia, I think they're called Cape starlings now. greater blue-eared, these Birchall starlings, they've all got similar-ish calls, but they've got quite a diverse vocabulary. And they will make squeaks and clucks and lots of different sounds. Sometimes I can mistake them for drongos sometimes. They've got quite sort of metallic sounding voices. I've seen here as well, there's a group of female impala also gathered here at the base of this tree. Craig's going to be having nightmares about the poles of this rain roof for the rest of his life. So they're gathered quite tight around this tree, as often is when it's windy. Different noses, different eyes, different ears, all facing in different directions. We know Talumba has hunted around here, or has been hunting around here for a while now. I can't see a male in this group, which is surprising because they've all pretty much staked their claim on both areas and groups of girly girls. Or it could be that there's still discussions around whose area this is. What a lovely little gathering of nature in one spot. Lovely waterbuck, parrot's nest, starlings, and this lovely little group of impala. And someone did say earlier they're looking super healthy. I think JP also mentioned all of these impala are looking fat and shiny. And then we'll slowly see as the season continues. I was going to say especially females, but actually all of them. So males are going to use up a lot of energy with this rut, with this mating, with this racing around, keeping the girls in order. And then as the females, as they're pregnant, it's quite, it's the way of nature. But bizarrely, as they have to use up extra energy, extra resources growing these fetus that they're carrying, their food resources actually drop. And often by the time they give birth, October, November, they're looking quite lean. But as is the way of nature. Okay, Craig just picked this off my shoulder for me. We are being greeted by lots of insects this morning, and this is a very cool looking little mantid, not a standard mantid, and look how it's wobbling in the wind there. You're gonna come off my hand. I think this is a leaf, probably a leaf mantid, if there's such a thing. I'm certainly gonna have a check, but how cool is this little guy? All the insects are coming out after the rain now.
Welcome back to Eco Training Pridelands. At the moment we are looking at individual buffalo bull that is coming in and out. So far there's been at least 10 of them that popped in for a drink. The main part of the breeding herd is still on the other side of his dam wall, and quite a thick vegetated area where we unfortunately can't go and view them. But for now we're just going to sit and watch our buffalo bull and see what he gets up to. As he came over the dam wall, he actually also gave the impalas a big fright, and they're also incredibly skittish at the moment with this incredibly strong wind which is blowing. We're just going to do a silent segment, allow you to listen to the sounds of the wind gushing through the trees while we're watching our buffalo.
this little mantid is still here. We didn't want it to get squashed, which is why we moved it. I'd prefer if it wasn't on my hand. Look, don't box my fingers. Oh, you can all see my terrible nails. I've been in the bush for nearly a month. Don't look at my nails. Come on, go on the car. It actually seems happier on my hand. Come on, It's camera shy. And using those forelegs. But look at... It's not in great light, but that tail end looks exactly like a leaf. Come on, go sideways. Go sideways. I would love to. Come on, turn around. Lakeisha, thank you so much. It was indeed a very special morning. I want to show you this little guy's face because it is so cute. Ah. I am going to put this little oakie back on a tree just now. Okay, stay there then. It won't turn around. It's camera shy. It literally won't face the camera. I am going to put this little mantid back on the tree just now. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this morning. We've watched the weather clear together, we've watched Shadulu hunt, and we've watched this beautiful little mantid be camera shy. We really, really do hope you can all join us again this afternoon. We will be out from 2:30 Central African time. Please come up with your questions, your thoughts, your comments. We love the fact that you can all join us as we head into nature and we are able to share these joyous moments with you. Have a fabulous day, evening, afternoon, wherever you may be in the world.